Hello, industrial marketing friends, and welcome to the Industrial Marketer. Wow, that is not it. I even rehearsed that.
It's gonna take longer than half an hour.
Hello, industrial marketing friends, and welcome to the Manufacturing Marketer Podcast, a show dedicated to all the small marketing teams working at companies that make stuff. My name is Brendan Forrest, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host, Nihal and we are here live at the Industrial Marketing Summit in Austin, currently at the County Line Barbecue, and we are pleased to introduce to you Taylor Corrado, our guest from Wistia, to talk about video marketing. Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
It was good to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Taylor, you spoke earlier at the show.
I did, very bright and early.
Very bright and early, but you had a really great talk. We're not gonna repeat any of that here.
Oh.
Gotta be at the show to get that stuff.
Yes.
So, really great talk though for those small marketing teams that are trying to start video. Like it's a little intimidating, right? Like all the equipment and how do you plan it out? I thought you had a great talk about make sure you have pre-production. Like what does that end product need to look like so you can film it during the shot? And then how are you going to distribute it? That's a big piece, right? So any main takeaways from your talk before we jump into just hanging?
Yeah, I think honestly from my talk and also talking to people all day today, I've realized that people are still trying to get started with video, or they have a decent amount of video and they don't know how to get more out of it. And I feel like we hear those two stories a lot, and it's still the case. And and this audience specifically talked about that all day. They have great videos that are not outdated. They can still use them, but they want to refresh them or they want to cut them down. And so I think there's just so much still potential for investing in video. Totally. And using it across a lot of channels.
I love video too because it's just with AI, right? On the written side of things, is this AI or is it not? That connection piece is so important, especially long sales cycles, capital equipment, multi-million-dollar deals. Building that trust is important. I think video could be a really big part of that.
I think it's a huge part of it, and I think AI has not caught up it's been going so fast, but I don't think it's to the point where video is believable.
Right.
That comes from AI. I think you still can say on Instagram, oh, that's an AI video. I even see it in all the comments, AI. And I just think it's going to take a long time for that to happen.
There's a little bit of an uncanny valley still.
Yes, there is. And I think video is still an amazing way to connect with your audience when you are on camera as a real person and talking about your company and talking about your products and services or talking about your customers. And I don't think that's going to go away. And I also feel like we've kind of gotten over the hump of AI craze. And now people are kind of bored with it. Yeah. And especially with the parts about generating things with AI. I think AI for productivity and for making your workflows do faster and do more, that's going to be where the focus is going to shift. But the craze of AI video generated or images, all of that, it's gone. People don't want to see it anymore.
And I think in general, when it comes to AI especially, right? I think written content these days, we'll talk about this more on the show later, I think, but one of the futures I'm seeing for content is that we're entering a future in which you might task an AI agent to just be source me 5 quotes on X project for Y application, right? In which case no one's consuming your written content at all, right? It's an AI agent that's going to do that, right? And I do think that video is meaningful because it's still a way to actually connect with humans, right? If I was trying to feed data to an AI agent, I would probably just use written content to do that. I wouldn't invest in a video to do this, right? I don't know the capabilities of AI agents to, synthesize video if they prefer video to text. I would presume that they would prefer text to video, right? So I think investing in actually doing video is just a kind of an action you can take in this age of AI in order to we're connecting with humans in a meaningful way through this kind of technology, right?
I think when the AI craze was last year, we were questioning all of our content strategy. We were do we even need a blog? Should we just get rid of all this content? Do we need to do PR? This is ridiculous. And then we kind of saw how it unfolded, and all of that content that sits on your website is still really important to feed into the LLMs. Yeah. But it's not the importance that you used to have, which was to drive traffic and to have people convert on your website. And so it's okay, I still make content, but I'm making content for AI.
Right.
My audience is not my reader, it's the LLMs that are taking my content and indexing it and using it in answers, which is such a mind shift. And it's
right, yeah. And I guess I'm curious, Taylor, So, thinking about like writing content for AI, right? Like that's a very different kind of task than I would be writing content for humans, right? Like I'd write long form for AI because I want the AI to just know everything about my company so it can produce this kind of information.
Yeah.
But video, I think it still needs to be oriented towards human taste and what humans want and what humans desire. I'm curious, like, if you've noticed like any trends in terms of like what people are like looking for in terms of marketing video, right? Like what video is performing well. I know even before the show we were talking a bit about short form and stuff like that, but let's talk about it. I mean, where do you see video content as being like most trended?
Yeah, I think we've seen so much success on social with video and short form video content, 15, 30 second, 60 second videos. And the videos that, like the content itself that does really well, we've seen like a lot of our stats and content from our annual reports do really well. People want to like see the data and interact with the data. Videos of people talking straight to camera, either it's an iPhone or you have a camera on a tripod. People just want to like see the people behind your brand.
Yeah.
And another thing we've had, myself, our CEO, our head of content, all build up our LinkedIn pages and following because people are connecting with individuals.
Yeah. Totally.
And LinkedIn is prioritizing individuals over brands.
Yeah.
And so now we're like, I need to go make a selfie video because that's going to work better than my highly produced in-studio video.
Yeah.
And I think the content matters, but the format also really matters. And I think short is for engagement and clicks and likes. Long form is really for conversion. It's really for driving that next step to talk to sales or start a trial or contact you about your product.
So for B2B, are there any fun formats that are like really popular right now or that you're really excited about this year? Or is it kind of just go back to the classics?
I think it's go back to the basics.
Yeah.
I think getting on trends is still, I think, a good idea if it fits your brand and your tone of voice. But honestly, it's like have a really great message, have a really clear, crisp audio and video setup, and just get your message across.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it, especially like if you don't have a lot of money or budget or time.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like free content strategy for other people, I guess. But like something that I've been thinking about with one of our clients, right, who has a product that, and we talked about this on the show, like there's two kinds of industrial companies. One where you got this very expensive capital equipment where people want to hear a lot about your product. And then you got also like these things that no one's ever thinking about, that people want to hear not that much about your product. And so one thing that I was talking to them about is doing short form video for social that's like just talking to people in the company, being like, what are you working on, right? Like, I think like doing this kind of like gossipy a little
like
bit.
Almost
right?
man on the street style.
Right,
yeah,
man on
yeah.
the street, right? Like I think like this is a chance to get creative, especially with like LinkedIn and stuff like that. Is that like I hear so often from industrial companies like we have a great team, like everyone, we have so much tenure. Just get them on camera and have them like talk about like random stuff, right?
We did we had a webinar a couple months ago, and we did a segment during it, which was like a trivia. What was it, like 2 truths and a lie?
Yeah.
And so we had our social media manager, Frank, went on camera around the office during like one of our on-sites and had like a cool little mic and asked people like to answer 2 truths, which one's the lie.
Yeah.
And that segment was used in the webinar, but then we used it on social and it did so well.
Yeah, that stuff's so cool.
Yeah, and it was just like him bopping around the office with a really easy camera and a really easy mic.
I think that just comes down to like kind of just like being a consumer of the media environment and finding things that are fun that you think is going to resonate with your brand and your audience and trying stuff out. I think this is also a thing to just try things out. If it doesn't work, it don't work.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think people put too much weight on video today. And the lifespan of a video on social especially, and the risk factor of video is so low. If something doesn't work, no one's going to remember it tomorrow. There's so much other things going on that people are taking people's attention away. So try a ton of different videos, a ton of different formats. Like try to be bad, and you'll probably figure out what's going to work for you in the long run.
Yeah. Another format you talked about in your talk today was webinars or like live internet sessions. And we host one, the Industrial Marketing Collective Live. Make sure you go to the website and register for that every other Thursday. But so, yeah, when I grew up in B2B marketing in-house and at manufacturing companies, and webinars were a big thing like back then. It was like, 2013 to probably 15 is like when I started getting into it, and webinars are big, and they've kind of like fallen off a little bit. You don't see a lot of them out there. Maybe I'm just not in the right places, but are you seeing like not a lot of webinars happening? And then how should somebody think about starting a webinar or a live internet series?
So I'm seeing a lot of webinars, and maybe
Okay.
that's just because I'm in like the marketing bubble. But I do think that the engagement and the attendance is down across the board. We've seen it year over year. Like, people are just not showing up to live events anymore. We probably cut our attendees in half in the last year. And I think what we've shifted our mindset of having a webinar series is that it's a place not only to interact with a smaller group of really engaged people, but then you actually have that content afterwards to repurpose, to cut down, to use for a long time. And so if you go into the webinar planning process thinking that, hey, this is actually an asset I'm going to have afterwards and I want to be able to use it in different places, it changes the content style, it changes what you create. And it just shifts the mindset of I think, a traditional webinar, which is like present slides to camera, have a Q&A, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I do think less people are going to webinars. I think they're really important in really like specific use cases. Like if you want to engage with your customers, or if you want to engage with like high value prospects, thinking about it as a tool to move people through the cycle is a really great way. Versus, I think the days of lead gen webinars, like huge ones, are kind of gone unless you have really big partners or really big speakers. So doing co-marketing is definitely a big draw for those. But other than that, it's tough.
Yeah. I will say, like, we talked about video being humanizing. Live events are very humanizing.
Yes.
Right? Like, this is pretty humanizing right now.
Yes.
Thanks for being on the show. But like, you can't always get live in person with people, right? So you still have to do the digital thing. But even just like, not even new business, but retained business and continual business with customers in the industrial is so important, right? Like, you spend so much money and time trying to get that one customer, like, you want to maintain them, right? So I see webinars as a great thing to bring your sales team in to continue that relationship and do training and customer support. So you're bringing in a small group of people, but making it really special for that small group.
Yes.
Could be a really cool way for industrials to use the webinar.
Yes, and don't think about it as just that one day. Think about it as something that's going to live on that you can use outside of just that audience is really important.
Totally.
Yeah.
That makes webinars a little bit more strategic than just like a one and done and move on to the next.
Yeah, I think that's meaningful. And I mean, this is like my own snobbery, I guess, or whatever. But like, I pretty often like see people going like, I'm hosting this webinar on XYZ. And I'm often just thinking like, who's gonna go to your webinar? I mean, this is some random thing about some random topic or whatever.
Yeah.
And it feels a little bit pathetic to me, I think. But I think I'm being like a bit cruel when I say this, right? Because
Just
like
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, I guess what I mean to say by this is that like, I've often thought of webinars as being more of like, in some way, a party, right? Like, it's kind of the analogy that you've used, right? And like,
But it's not when you have a slide deck and you only see the one person's face.
Yeah.
Right,
No
yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? But like, I do think it's like kind of figuring out like that there's multiple different formats that a webinar could be. Like maybe that slide deck plus like no chat or whatever is actually quite useful for certain kinds of audiences, right? Well, like for Industrial Marketing Collective Live, right? Like that should feel like a big party. I think that the episodes with the IMC Live where there's only like 20 or 15 people, it's a little depressing sometimes, right? And like when we have it with like 80 people and stuff, it feels like a complete different format, right? So like,
I think thinking about different formats of content too, like we do office hours, and we used to talk about AI and video, and those are just our co-founders getting on a webinar, answering questions through the live chat, maybe talking through a product that they're working on or feature, and it's very informal and it's very casual, and you have access to the co-founders of our company, like that's unique. But then we have something like our State of Video live show that we do once a year. That's heavily produced. We actually do all of the content pre-recorded, and we shoot segments. And so our inspiration has been SNL skits. And so our show is very much like the news desk, and then we cut to like another segment. And we've been doing that for a couple of years, and that's worked really well.
That's
so
cool.
I think getting out of the slides and speaking to camera format is really important, and just thinking outside the box of what you can do.
I think that's so true just across every type of marketing that you're going to do. Like,
Yes.
we're just we're talking about video marketing, but we're really just talking about doing good marketing.
Yes.
So,
And so much of that is video today.
It is,
It's the main medium.
so I do have like a specific tactical video question. You hear a lot of like, we're doing a produced podcast right now. We got nice cameras, we got the lights, we got lav mics. Like, we're doing a produced thing, right? But there's also the case for low production, right? iPhone, like you talked about Nihal, like man in the street. Maybe you don't even have a mic. You should have a mic, but maybe you're just doing it with the iPhone microphone. So
Yeah.
Taylor, like where do you see like this is where like the use cases that are really good for produced video, and these are more for our ad hoc, we'll say low production videos.
Yeah, I would say like you should align the production value to the risk of the video.
Okay.
So high risk videos like the homepage video or the about us video on your website, things that are going to have longevity, that have a big impact on people that watch it, those should have high production value. And that doesn't need to be like a live action shoot. It could be really a really well done animated video. But when you have something that is has a lot of weight to it, you should really think about the production that way.
Okay.
But then on the other side, low risk videos should have lo-fi production. So a man on the street video, everyone knows that format. They don't want it on like some highly produced studio. They want you like on your iPhone with like a funny mic, even like one of those little ones you just hold up to your mouth. Like that is so normal
Or
today.
you put on like a gear or something.
Yeah. You put on like, I saw someone have it on like their sunglasses and they hold their sunglasses up. COVID and everyone being at home and on Zoom brought the production value from here to here.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean all your videos should look like I'm sorry, they should not look bad. But it just weighs the value of them in different ways.
And I don't think like high production versus low production, that's just like techniques on with the camera and the equipment.
It is.
There's still like, you still have to put thoughtful intent and strategy into all the video, into all your content. Right? You need the right messaging, you need the right story, you need to know like what your call to action is, what's your end state. Like you have to still know all those things, even if you're just making a funny social video.
I actually would argue that the bar for that is higher now because there's so much crowded space of content that if you're not keeping that as like a high production value in terms of what you're saying and how you're getting it across and who you're talking to, you're gonna get lost in the muck.
Yeah, and I think like there's ways that marketers can learn from like you were talking about, Taylor, about how COVID really inaugurated a new era of like video style, right? Like I see Gen Z, just smart young people who are just like, they got one of those handheld mics or whatever. They're just like talking about their hot takes on pop culture and they're bringing cultural theory or whatever. I mean, like this is like a style that I think is quite effective, right? It's actually, it feels authentic, it feels real. I mean, we talk about this with design all the time, right? We talk about how, and we can actually demonstrate this through performance metrics, which is to say that ugly photos of like some ugly, pump that's like hanging out all gritty and stuff, this performs better on social. I don't think that you need to be hyper stylized, especially if you have a strong point of view, a strong like
that's
willingness to say
the
things,
case.
right? And that is the case, right? Like I think that like, ultimately I do think, I've been talking about this with AI for a while here, right? Which has been essentially that I think that something that AI will not replace humans at is that you want someone that you can disagree with, right? Disagreeing with AI is never going to be pleasurable in some way. It's not fun.
It won't disagree with you.
Exactly, it won't disagree with you also, right?
Yeah.
But like having like someone's face just talking to a camera and just being like, here's my take on how supply chains and tariffs work or whatever, right? That's a controversial piece of content that you are uniquely authorized to talk about because you're in the industry to talk about it. And that invites an actual response from people, right? Like, again, I know we like draw on this so often, but like the truth is that like a lot of this lo-fi content works so well because it's people willing to say something that's going to get them into a little bit of good trouble, right?
We had some questions in your session today about repurposing content. I think that's especially in industrial, right? Like 1 to 3 person teams that have content, but like it's got a shelf life. You talked about like, maybe your social video lasts for 24 hours. But you can't just be behind a camera all the time. Like we all have other work that we got to get done. So what is the best way to extend the life of your creative?
I think there's a few things. I think one, don't be afraid to post the same thing multiple times. And I'm not saying like multiple times in the day or in the week, but a video that you create and it's evergreen and it works for a long period of time, post it once a month. Once every other month. That video will get new engagement, maybe change the copy that's associated with it, and try and test new things, new messaging and see what's landing. But it will work. And people won't be like, oh, you posted this last month. They won't even remember that you posted it. So that's one thing.
People aren't thinking about you as much as you're thinking about yourself.
They are only thinking about themselves. The other thing I think to think about is, I talked a lot about this in my session, but pre-planning and the pre-production process, making sure that you're thinking about maybe your long form content or even like your 2 to 3 minute video as something that you want to either use in the long term or cut down or add to. I think that mindset is such a big shift. And honestly, at Wistia, it took us a while to think about that for our webinars, for our product videos. Like, it's a challenge. And if you take that step before you even shoot anything and map that out and say, okay, this webinar is going to get to 300 people, but afterwards it's going to get to 3,000 people because I'm going to cut it down into these clips. I'm going to use the 30-minute pre-recorded version as like a standalone asset. That shift in the planning process helps you get so much more out of the content that you're making.
The thing that we've been thinking about, pitching with Nick, our videographer, about upcoming video shoots is I don't want just one 3-minute video about, a product video, right? Like, how do we film multiple opening takes? So I get like 5 different hooks. And then, maybe one or two, the meat of the video, right? 1 or 2 different meats of the video. And then give me a couple of different call to actions at the end. So my one video now turns into 3 times 2 times 2, right? So I get like 12 videos out of one shoot. And then you're in your session 2, you're talking about successful videos are like, maybe you do a voiceover instead of an interview, or you do text on the screen with some nice music. You can change, it's so easy to get a voiceover. Like, either you record it yourself or you hire a voice actor, or you use AI. Or you just change the text on a video. So you use the same B-roll almost with just a different copy, and now you got a completely different message that you get. Like, your product video now turns into a how-to video. Almost,
it's just, go ahead.
I mean, I think we're also just seeing in general that the way people are communicating broadly outside of industrial marketing is that the texture of life has actually changed a little bit to match short form video, right? Like, I noticed this with listening to State of the Union this year, right? Where it was a very long speech, and often it was cut into smaller bits that seemed built for short form video, right? I mean, it's kind of incredible, right?
Say what you will, but he built the speech to get the applause, right? To get a nice clip.
Right, exactly. And we can notice, I've noticed this a lot in other places too, right? Like, we are seeing it, again, that people are starting to develop speech and communication in order to match the format of short form video because it's taken over so deeply, right?
We do that on our podcast with our CEO. We've moved to video first for the podcast, and we've adopted YouTube as our main strategy and distribution channel. And now we're writing and formatting the episodes so we can cut them down immediately. And honestly, we get more engagement on the clips than we do on the full episode. And we're all like, do we still do this podcast? And we're like, well, we're getting 500,000 views on TikTok and we're getting 300 downloads on Apple Podcasts. I think we should keep doing it.
Right.
Because the format works, we've got it down pat for the edit, and we're formatting them so their clips are even stronger and stronger every episode.
I think there's still a case for, if you're still listening to this, thank you.
Yes.
But a long video also kind of talks to the intent, right? If somebody's going to listen to us talk for 30 minutes, they're probably pretty interested.
Yeah.
So even though you maybe only get, 300 downloads, it's still pretty valuable content, I think. There is still value in a long form technical article on your website. If a person's going to read that, they are probably thinking about buying $1 million piece of equipment.
Yes.
Taylor, I think we're going to wrap up here. Just want to give you a chance to say any parting thoughts. What are you excited about in video in 2026?
I'm excited for more people to adopt video and really take it seriously. I've been really thinking about content marketing as a video first strategy. In the future, I feel like that's where everything's going to go. And I'm just excited to keep helping people do that, teach them, and get people more on board with using video in their marketing.
Love that. Any other questions?
I mean, I guess, Taylor, if you could just tell us a little bit more about Wistia and what you guys do, and also if they wanted to find out more about you and Wistia, how can they do that?
And plug your pluggables.
Right,
Okay. So Wistia is an all-in-one video marketing platform for businesses. So you can create, host, manage, and analyze all your videos in one place. We work with hundreds of thousands of customers, businesses all over the country, all over the world, honestly. And they manage all of their content with us, which is really cool.
And you can do some editing inside of it too, right?
Yes, we have an editor. We have a full webinar platform within the app. Hosting, customizations, anything that you can think of. It's all in one place.
Awesome. And how can people connect with you and learn more?
The best place is on LinkedIn. I post there sometimes. Try to do it a couple of times a week, but LinkedIn's the best place.
Perfect. Well, we'll connect. Thank you so much for sitting between two gorillas and talking about video. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And hey, like always, Industrial Marketing Collective Live happens every other Thursday at 10 o'clock. So please go and register for that. We have some really cool upcoming shows. like and subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate you guys here. Leave a review. If you have any questions, email us at podcast@grow76.com. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.